Okay guys, here we are again for yet another 10 ball Scotch doubles match, and this is this Thursday's 10 ball Scotch doubles final that we're in. And as usual, we'll hopefully have a quick look at the bracket. We're in the first rack, it's a race to 5. It is a handicap tournament, although these two teams are playing scratch. There's no racks being given. And if we look at the bracket, we'll see that Mr. Bill and Larry won their first match 5-3 against Steve-O and DJ Simon, and they're actually the two players. They were the two that were playing in the losers final a moment ago. So Mr. Bill and Larry in their next match were playing Dizzle and Izom, who knocked them to the one-loss side, and DJ Simon and Steve-O UK battled their way through to the one-loss final by beating, who was it he beat? Brain fell out in Jezdev, and of course Steve-O and DJ Simon lost a single rack decider there in the final of the one-loss side. So this is where we're at. We're in the final. We've got Larry and Mr. Bill, who are playing Dizzle and Izom, and this is old rivalries resuming. I think they've played in multiple finals or multiple matches in the 10 ball Scotch doubles. And we've got Dizzle and Izom at the table, and Dizzle is on the 8 ball and needs to get that cue ball nicely back up the table and leave an angle, not too straight on this 9, and there's just enough there, but you'll still have to put a wee bit of zip in this cue ball just to get it up comfortable for the 10, because the 10's fairly tight in this rail here. It doesn't want to leave it too short to leave a nasty cut. And he stunned that down more than enough, and this should be a fairly simple drop into the corner for Dizzle. Of course, remember 10 ball is a call shot game, just in case you don't know. All combos and banks must be called. Pretty much non-obvious shots, but the 10 ball is always a forced call shot. The game does that automatically. So Dizzle and Izom go into the lead, and it's winner breaks. 9 ball drops down in the top right hand corner as we look, and they've got a shot in the 1 ball. Balls are all sitting beautifully, and a fairly easy positional shot for the 2. Just needs to drop back off the rail and out, and he's played that well. And I don't think Dizzle will be doing, or sorry, Izom should be doing too much heroics here with the cue ball. Couldn't avoid the collision with the 5, but he's okay. And again, Dizzle, same thing, just run through with the cue ball off the side rail and end rail and back out. He's going to leave Izom a long shot in the 4, but again, Izom's not going to have much to do with the cue ball because the 5's lying down here at the bottom of the screen. So this part of it seems fairly straightforward. And that's all very well in theory, but let's see if they can actually apply that. So Dizzle's forced that in, got the cue ball round the angles, back out, and sitting pretty much perfect on this 4 ball. And Dizzle just needs to, well, he could actually stun up the table past this 6 if he goes beyond the 7 and beyond the right middle pocket. Well, he's hit it soft. Now all that means is that Izom's got more room to manoeuvre the cue ball, and he's just got enough on it. It's maybe actually finished a bit straight. A bit more either way or a bit less would have been perfect, but he's managed to spin that round. That's okay. And Dizzle and Izom should certainly be rushing into a 2 racks to 0 lead in this week's final. That's a bit weak by Izom, and again it's just leaving it tough for his partner. This can be missed if he cuts it to the bottom cushion too soon. But he's played it well. Again, he should have been playing from a better position than that. Izom breaks off in rack 3. How's their luck this time? 7 ball into the top right, and we've got no shot in the 1. And we've also got the 5, the 6 and the 3. Well, the 3 is potable past that 5 and 6. So there is a possible opportunity to run the cue ball into that 5 and 6 to open them should they try and run the rack. But you'll notice that the 2 ball, just behind the cue there, is actually blocked off by the 9 into that pocket. So that might have to be a combo. Now, that probably wasn't the best push out in the world, simply because Bill actually can pot the 1, but he's also got an angle to move the cue ball down the table and try and get somewhere onto that too. I thought he would have played that a lot harder. I thought he would have tried and move balls around a wee bit. Certainly erred on the safety side there. And there's still a possible combo in the 2-9. And I think this time Izom's going to call it, but he really needs to not hit it too hard. He needs to remember that Dizzle has to get a shot in his 3, and hopefully a shot that's going to allow him to try and break these 2 balls, because the 4 will go down that rail on the right. So it's not needing a perfect positional shot. But anyway, he's missed the combo, which is probably the best thing that could have happened there. The other good thing that's happened is the 2's gone safe, but I think Bill should have Izom and Dizzle tied up behind this 5 and 6. Well, he's kissed into the 4, and that's not worked out well at all, because now we've got a dead set combo, and no prizes for guessing what's going to happen here. Out with the old jump stick. I think there must have been a bit of lag there, because I missed a 9 ball going in. So we've got an awkward cut on the 2. Now what's Izom going to do? Is he going to try and hide the cue ball here? Well, he's played a sort of nothing shot. He chickened out on it. He didn't follow through, and he's left Larry a simple enough 2 ball. But I think Larry is certainly more concerned about what he's going to do with the cue ball, and he wants to get over this side. That's why he's hit it firm enough. And I think, well, it's up to Bill, but it's a risky shot this. He could split these, but he's probably going to leave Larry a very, very tough shot in this 4, and the 4's going to have to be cut down the rail. That's if Bill can get the cue ball out, and obviously needs luck. Let's see what happens. Oh dear. Oh, well, that's the sort of luck you need. And this is going to be a real tester. Right in the corner pocket. And Larry's got a difficult cut down the rail. And of course, Bill will be on the 5 ball next, no problem. Unless Larry overhits this. Well, that's a good shot. And he's got a bit of luck. He's got the kick off the jaw there. And this is Bill and Larry's opportunity to open their account in this final. But that was a really bad shot by Bill. I don't know what he attempted to do there, but that's maybe thrown away their chance. all the pressure on Larry here to pull a bank out when it's most required. And he's overdone it, and it's not kick safe, so Bill and Larry, they've thrown away their opportunity there. They really should have been on the scoreboard after all the hard work, and they've pretty much gifted this to Dizzle and his buddy Izom. So once again, Bill and Larry have got their work cut out. It's only a race to 5, and they're going to be trailing by 3 racks to 0 in a second or two, but Bill and Larry are experienced enough to work their way into this game, but they'll certainly not do it if they keep making bad positional shots like that one in the 6. So it's now 3-0, Izom breaking. Well, 2 ball goes into the top left as we look, 3 goes into the bottom left as we look, and this time there's a combo in the 7 which is fairly easy. Just roll it in nice and softly. Keep the 1 ball and the cue ball fairly adjacent to that pocket. And that's well played. He's managed to hold it. And now he needs to actually just dig down in the cue ball, little bit of bottom and right, and kick the cue ball back towards the right hand side. And again, Izom totally chickened out in the shot. I really think Izom's struggling for certain positional shots and certain technique, and is really struggling a wee bit and leaving his partner too much hard work. But they might have got away with this. That 6 go past a 10. Oh no, it's the 4 he's on. What am I talking about? He's hooked by the 6. It's getting late, folks. I'm getting tired. I should be in my bed in 20 minutes time. And this is the sort of luck you need. Keep yourself in the game, but there might be enough of that ball shown to cut that in. No. I think Larry will be going for the kick shot here off the side rail. A reasonable margin of error. I would expect Larry to get this. This isn't a really difficult shot, as long as he doesn't get it too thin. Now, how's he going to get in this 5? Oh, well, that's unlucky. And Bill will be out with Old Faithful in a second or two. Try and jump himself out of this problem. Now, just while we're watching Bill, the version of EP4 online that we have now has had a few updates. There's been changes to the snooker table. Snooker table's now got a change in the table speed, and I think maybe the rails and possibly the skid on the table. I'm not 100% sure, but there has been changes there, and the table speed has been speeded up. But the major change is that on the tournament side, the tournament part of the game online now incorporates all the available handicap options within each game. So now these games that you're watching, for example, 10 ball, can not only be handicapped by racks, but as an alternative you can have ball spots. So that would mean, for example, that say Izom and Dizzle were getting the 8 ball, Well, the 8 ball would be their money ball along with the 10 ball. As long as they got to the 8 ball and sunk it, they could win the rack. And that's available in 9 ball and various other games. And the billiard games, I believe, can also be handicapped by points. And it makes it more interesting. And also makes it a bit fairer for people as well, for those who aren't quite as skilled as these guys. So where have we got to? We've got Bill and Larry off the mark. They're now trailing by 3 racks to 1, but we've got Izom at the table on the 2 ball. Cue ball just needs to come across to the 7. And that's okay. And Dizzle will do the simple thing here, just roll through and just give Izom a sight on this 4 ball. Well, he's obviously seen the other option, which is in between the 10 and the 5, and that was well thought out, because now if Izom plays this right, he can come off the end rail and side. He'll certainly need to put a wee bit of spin on this to avoid colliding with the 10. Well, he's overdone it by 1.5 miles, and that is not a good shot. Again, just lack of experience. The right shot there would have been to spin that ball in and put a bit of right English in the cue ball to come off the bottom rail, side rail, and up the table. And Dizzle's managed to pull out a good shot though. But you shouldn't have to be doing all this hard work. Ideally, the cue ball should be going up towards that right middle pocket. And I think though, he's left it far enough down the table that Dizzle's got an angle just to probably stun this in. He might come off the side rail and right and across the right, or he might just stun it, which he's done. And that's left Izom more or less a straight 10 ball. But the more important thing is the scoreboard, and Dizzle and Izom now are on the hill. They're leading by 4 racks to 1, and it's Dizzle's turn to break. Now, something went into the left middle there, but that doesn't matter because Dizzle has scratched. And now Larry and Bill know exactly what's required. They can't miss. They've got an open table. Everything's there for the taking. And Larry already is in trouble here because that 9 ball is in the way on that rail. And Larry's going to have to work really hard here to get some sort of position on the 4. But I think he's certainly got a problem with the 9. The 9 is right in the path, so you're going to have to put a bit of something on the cue ball here. Well, he checked it to try and at least give Bill some sort of shot in the 4, and that was well played. He actually killed the cue ball off that end rail with right hand English. And Larry is now sitting pretty on the 5, but once again the 6 is only going to go into that top left hand corner, and that cue ball's gone just a bit too close to the rail for comfort. And Bill is really going to have to force this 6 in and get a bit of bottom in the cue ball, or is he going to try and run around? It looks like he's running round. No, he's digging down now. And that's another good shot. Now this looks a fairly straightforward run out, because there's nothing needing to be done with the cue ball. Larry just needs to drop the cue ball on the bottom or on the top rail as we look. Right on the top rail would be ideal. And he's just checked it again with a bit of left hand English just to kill the pace and hold the cue ball. And Larry's set Bill up just to roll this 10 ball in. So that's Bill and Larry saved their neck once now, but they've still got a lot of work ahead of them, and they really need to be breaking, getting a ball in the break here and getting a run out to keep their momentum going. But they've got no luck, and I think we'll see the call in the 6 ball. That looks a reasonably set combo. There is a bit of space between them. And he's got to remember that if the 6 goes in, he's got to keep some sort of control in the cue ball. Well, he did that, he played at the right pace, but unfortunately he's missed a combo. So it's Larry's turn. I don't think Larry will make a mistake here. In goes the 6, and nice position for the 1. Again, this is a fairly common sense shot. You just a wee bit of draw on the cue ball. Maybe could have done with a bit more, because again Larry's going to be running into this 7, which he hopefully he's going to brush off the 7 and just leave the cue ball out near maybe the 8 ball, or just beyond that 7, which he's done. All the balls will pot. That 9 and 10 aren't a problem. And again, it's going to take a bad mistake here for Bill and Larry to throw this match now. But it's all about the angle on this 5 ball. And that, Larry, isn't the best shot you've ever played, because he really needed to get that cue ball at a better angle for Bill. Bill's going to have to really force this. And I mean, he's got to hammer this to get this cue ball moving. Well, let's have a look. He's chose the simpler option rather than a complicated way, and it's on the 7 ball. And it goes, and Bill's sitting pretty on the 8 by the looks of it. And then again, it doesn't look that good, because there's a slight angle on it, and the cue ball might be going dangerously close to that middle pocket, so he's got to... Yep, he just drew it back a wee bit, just a wee bit of stunt, and this should be simple now. And it's going to be Bill with the honours in this rack to put another notch in the scoreboard. So Bill and Larry now trail by 4 racks to 3. And crucially, they've still got the break, but this time they need a ball in the break. They didn't get one in the last rack, and it really would be a bonus if they got a ball and got position and managed to run out. 9 balls going into the bottom left. Unfortunately, again, they've got no luck in the one, and this is just going to be a push out, and Bill looking for somewhere to push. The question is whether they're going to be put back in or whether Dizzle's going to try and pull something out here. He's played the safety, he's got good cover. And Larry will just be looking to kick. I don't think the angle can be made past the 10 balls, so you're going to have to come off the end rail and side rail and into the one. And remember as well, Larry's still calling a pocket just in case he flukes it, which is the right thing to do. And that's a pretty good kick shot. Okay, it's not got cover, but there's not a great deal left here for Izom to go at. That needs to keep running. And now, does that one pass the 8? Yes, it does. And again, no worries about positional play on the 2. The cue ball's going to naturally be on the 2. But Bill's overcut it. And how's his luck? Well, he's got a full ball snooker, but I think Dizzle will be out of the jump queue as well. Let's have a look. And that's well controlled. And of course, cue ball was never going to move a great deal, so it was always going to be that Izom had a shot in the 2. And the cue ball just needs to come over to the left. The natural path of the cue ball will do that. As long as he doesn't roll too soft and snooker Dizzle behind the 4, Dizzle should have a shot in the 3. Again, Izom's just sort of chickened out in the shot. He's just too tentative. Now that's the one thing you've got to be in this game. You've got to be positive and you've got to play the right shot. And you've got to play it with confidence. And there was no confidence in that shot there. And he hit it all wrong. But, well, fortunate for them though, they didn't leave enough of that to showing that it could be potted. And now we're going to have a little bit of tippy tap and safety here. And this might go on for a while. Well, that was a good attempt by Dizzle, and that's very well played. I didn't think there was even enough in there to get away from that 2 ball. Let's have a look from this end. Yeah, that was a very good shot. He's got Bill locked out in one half of that 2 ball there. But again, Bill's got lucky. He's got the hit, and he's also got a nice little kiss off the 3, which has sent the 2 into cover. And Izom's lining up here for a jump, and it's going to have to be a good one. He's got a fair distance to go to get over that 7. And in it goes, and it just needed a wee bit more pace to get up onto that 3. But I think Dizzle will call the bank that 3 ball back into the top left hand pocket as we look, but he's probably thinking better of it and playing a safety, trying to tuck behind the 5. Well, the 8 will do it. That's worked out nice. Got the pace of that shot down to a tee there. And this match is on a knife edge at the moment. And Larry needs to get lucky. And unfortunately he hasn't. And this is Izom and Dizzle's chance to seal the match and the tournament. Well, this cue ball just going to come off the bottom rail here and back out. And this is just going to be a straightforward draw shot. Big margin of error here. He's got to have Dizzle on the 6. And well, that's still fortunate because he's got the kick off that jaw there, which he didn't want, but it still left Dizzle a tough cut on the 6. But knowing Dizzle, he'll probably pull this off. Well, he's hit it into the rail. It was tough, and he's left Bill and Larry no option. They've got to go for this cut as well. Oh, that was a good shot. That just had enough weight to drop into the pocket, and Bill and Larry are going to, I think, tie this match up. It's going to go to a final rack decider. I hope that's not a commentator's curse. But no heroics here again. Simple way just to roll this 8 in. Don't leave yourself open to any mistakes. Well, he stunned it in. And Larry just needs to sink the 10, and we've got a tied ball game. 4 racks all, and a final rack decider. And Bill and Larry have somehow got themselves right into the match. But once again, absolutely no joy in the break. A good opportunity for cover here if he wants to go to the top of the table over by the 3 and the 2. But he's going the other way, sending a 1 over there, and that's reasonably well played. So if you try and get a thin shot off that edge, obviously the 1 ball's going to go to the right hand side of the table here. He's maybe going to try and just tuck over by the 2 and 3 again. Well, he tried to check it and kill it. But even so, this is still a challenging shot here. Not an ideal position to try and hold for that 2 ball. The cue ball's going to have too much momentum in it. Well, He's played it soft to try and drop it into the middle. I think and of course that was the one way of ensuring he could get Izom a shot on the 2, but it was a tough cut to cut it into that middle pocket as opposed to taking it the long one down into the bottom right as we look. And so Bill and Larry are back at the table. Now let's have a look at what we've got here, because you can see entirely the wrong angle in this too, and Larry's really going to have to manoeuvre the cue ball, and it's so bad an angle. Larry chose to take the harder option here and bank this, run through with the cue ball off the side rail and come back out for the 3, and he's played it well. It was a simple enough bank, but again there's still pressure on it to pull that off and get your opponent, get your partner on the 3. It was an easy shot from that perspective, but in terms of a doubles match and a final where you're playing for your virtual dollars, the pressure was on, so it was well played. Now here's the one that could be a problem. If Bill plays this too soft and chokes on it, he could leave Larry tied behind the 7, so Bill needs to get a wee bit of draw in this. Make sure he comes up the table by 2 or 3 inches, or do what he did there and just kill it and roll through. But it's gone a wee bit straight, but Larry will still be able to pinch a bit of an angle here. Doesn't want to hit it too hard, he doesn't want to do the same to Bill and hook him behind the 9. Well, Bill's left with the blind pocket cut, and these are little twitchers. You spend too much time looking over this shot and thinking of what can go wrong, then you'll do that. And that's all from the fact it was just looking into a blind pocket. No other reason at all. So this is the crucial shot here for the match for Dizzle and Izom. And the pressure now is all on Izom. Now the shot to play would be to check this cue ball with inside English, left hand English, to check it off the bottom rail and come back up. But what's Izom going to do? Is he going to let the cue ball run? If he plays this plain ball, the cue ball's going to go too far to the left and leave Dizzle an awkward cut on that 10. And you see he didn't put anything on that, which is why the cue ball's now sitting in that position. The cue ball should have been a lot further to the right as we look, more into the middle of the table. And so Dizzle's got this nasty cut on the 10 ball for the match. And unfortunately again, that's all down to bad positioning, and I have to say, just not enough confidence in playing the right shot. The one rule that I have in virtual pool is you have to play the right shot. And oh dear, that's a total disaster. A total disaster. And unfortunately that sold it out to Izom and Dizzle and Izom win the match and the final by 5 racks to 4. Oh dear, they won't want to see those last 2 or 3 shots again, I'll tell you that. But they soon will do once I get it uploaded to YouTube.